Merhabalar Levent. Yanımda Debarati Roy var. Debarati emtia uzmanı ve muhabir. Günlük ve haftalık emtialar piyasa dinamikleri hakkında yazıyor. Debarati, thank you so much for coming to our studios.
Thank you.
You are the expert in terms of the commodities, in terms of gold, and I want to ask you, commodities tumble, right? They have been tumbling into the bear market as the US economy falters. First of all, does the economy really falter? Do you agree with this statement?
No, it's just slowing down. You know, the economic data in US has been in a tug of war where some data has been showing some strength and some data has been showing signs of weakness. So people are not sure. It's a tug of war. So people are kind of waiting and watching what will happen. Some people are talking that QE3 will come. Some people are saying, hey, no, you know, we're doing fine. It's a slowdown because Europe is in a mess.
Right.
And China is slowing down because of Europe. So it's kind of they're waiting and watching what will happen.
Do you think QE3 will happen, by the way?
Some people, you know, I was at a Bank of America conference yesterday, and they said they feel that QE3 will come in September because the European crisis is not going out of it. Right? I mean, they are in a situation where only slowdown is happening. Today, German data was weak.
Unemployment, right?
Yes, it was weak. And then, nobody is really expecting the two-day summit that's going on in Brussels to come up with a solution. People are saying, okay, they will, kind of kick the can further. So that's what, there is so much of uncertainty. And US by itself cannot be insulated, even though some of our data has been really good.
So you're talking about the perfect storm, as Rubini put it, in European crisis, the uncertainty in the Middle East, and the fiscal cliff here. However, we see that the traders telling us in terms of dollar, there's a rise in the dollar. So gold is not the safe haven anymore. They're going to dollar. Why so?
Last year when gold rose to a record, gold was the only commodity that gave you positive returns, right? So when they had a margin call in other commodities, where would they go? They went to gold. But that affected other investors who were looking at gold as an investment, as a safe haven. They saw this huge volatility in prices where prices one day were at the peak and within 2 months it was like 20% down. So it kind of scares you. And which is the safe haven you look at? You start looking at dollar because Euro people are worried about. Swiss came and said, okay, we'll do something with the franc. China yuan, they don't want strengthening because they're, for the exports. And which other currency do they go to? So it is dollar. And when all the money started going towards dollar, gold, obviously got a pushback and then it's not doing as well. And there's so much volatility and it's a self-fulfilling, right? So when people moved to dollar, it started strengthening and then gold started falling because gold becomes more expensive in dollar terms.
That's true. But Debarati, gold is heading for the worst quarter since 2004, right?
Yes.
But going forward, is it going to get worse?
It all depends what Bernanke is going to do. If QE3 comes, which people are waiting for, it's kind of everybody is thinking, oh, let's see what Bernanke thinks because the data now has not been so good. And like today's data, GDP growing at 1.9% and
jobless
also
claims
jobless
is increasing, especially the previous week.
Exactly. They upped the last week's estimate. So it's like people are wondering, will he, won't he? And this is election year, so the uncertainty is so much more. So gold is actually predicated on that and also on the European crisis. And if European crisis worsens, people are moving towards dollar. So if people move towards dollar, gold is not going to do well. But should QE3 come, everybody will move towards gold because that means what? That means dollar's value is going to be falling.
That's true, but some say, even Charles Evans yesterday said that even though Bernanke takes an action, throws the QE3 out there, it's not going to do much into the treasury yields. It's not going to do much into the markets because of the law of diminishing returns, because this is the third one.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a great message to the other central bankers. Do you agree with this?
Yes, that, it is not... Everybody thinks, oh, this is the solution for all problems.
Right.
That's not what it is, because the last two, quantitative easings, then that should have made our economy so good. Guess what? We grew at 1.9%. That kind of tells you that it's not probably had its desired effect.
Yes.
So as Bernanke says that, we are there always to support the system. But at the moment, we will do what it takes to do it. But at the moment, they have not announced anything.
They did not, that's right.
Draghi did the same thing. He came and he kept the benchmark interest rate at the same level. But guess what? They did not announce
Well, he doesn't do anything to begin with, right?
But, you know, the crisis there, because people were waiting, will Greece be out or not?
Right.
Spain's crisis is only worsened. And now, you know, we have another country joining. So the list is only growing.
But is Greece going to be out?
People are saying now Greece will do everything to be there. Because, you know, it's not going to, I mean, going back to drachma doesn't really solve matters for anyone. Yes. Neither for the European Union nor for Greece. So people are really worried about what will happen. But Greece is saying, the leaders are saying that we'll do everything to find a solution that, you know, just not helps them but the European Union. So they're getting mixed messages. So that uncertainty is so much that, you know, going back to commodities, people want to wait and watch. Will prices fall? Because last week, we tumbled into a bear market.
That's right. I want to talk about that actually, Debarati, with your permission. The sell-off in the commodities, right? There was a huge sell-off. How much of it is being driven by the decline in the demand in the emerging markets, in the US, abroad? Can you tell us?
I'll go to China, because China is the biggest market. And who is China's biggest buyer? Europe. So you see, it's also connected. And China did announce some quantitative easing, I think, a few days back or a couple of weeks back.
That's right.
It hasn't really helped matters. You know, so only we see a few soft commodities like corn doing well, but that's on fundamentals. US weather is dry, so corn is doing very well. But, you know, metals like copper, even though they are saying that it's bottoming out, but people are worried, will prices go up? I mean, demand can come in, but will prices go up? Because, you know, all the buyers will not come back because Europe is in trouble. And at the end of the day, China may have its interior, you know, domestic demand, but the outside demand is taking a hit because of Europe.
So it's affected by that.
Yes, of course. And that the real demand is going down. In US, you know, unemployment is rising. At the end of the day, it's consumers who will buy, right? So if that is taking a hit, of course, the real demand is going to. Housing stats, you know, his people are saying it's improving, but it's not like, you know.
It's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So that is the point, that people are saying that the real demand has, you know, because it's taken a hit, prices will come down further. So the investors are kind of taking a position that let's wait and watch. Prices will come down further.
How much is going to go down in terms of gold, the prices? 2012 outlook.
You know, Michael Shawl of Market Field, he said it could go down to even 1,300 because
1,300.
Yeah, because really, as you said, QE3 is not the solution for everything. You know, everybody says, oh, guess what? Gold will go up because QE3. But what, you know, but some people like Bank of America are sticking to their target that gold could reach 2,000 because...
So Bank of America's target is 2,000.
2,000. Target is 2,000. Yes.
Okay. And expectations of central bank actions we talked about, but how about the central bankers buying into gold?
Central banks are buying into gold because, you know, they want to they don't want to only hold dollars and, you know, other assets. They also want to buy gold. And we have seen steady buying, especially by the emerging markets. You know, Kazakhstan has been buying, Turkey has been buying, India has been buying, China has been buying, Mexico has been buying. So when we see these emerging markets, they all want to accumulate gold because the gold reserves is growing. Why just central banks? Look at the exchange traded funds. It's near at a record where, you know, investors also want to buy gold. The gold sales of coins in US, that surpassed last month.
That's right.
Because people are price sensitive, you know, that, oh, prices have come down, let's go and pile up. Because at the end of the day, what is the alternative? Some people do look at gold as currency.
That's right.
So, you know, the moment they see prices come down, oh, this is a good time to buy. Let's go and, you know, get some gold. Because, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people think that that is one currency where the purchasing power has not really fallen.
Perfect. Well, that was my last question, and that wraps up our session, but we need you to come back, okay?
Thank you.
Levent, burada sohbetimiz Debarati Roy'la hem altın hem emtia uzmanı olarak röportajımız sona erdi. Sözü tekrar sana bırakıyorum İstanbul'da.